Well, hello. Have you ever been dating someone and they just stopped responding to your text messages? Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever had someone say, "Yeah, let's meet up on Friday"? Sounds good. I like it. You're going back and forth. And then Friday comes and you never hear from them, and then you never hear from them again. My name is Terry Cole. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, a relationship expert, and the founder of the Real Love Revolution. And what we're talking about today in this video is the phenomenon of ghosting, which is when someone just disappears like a ghost out of your life. Or maybe you're the person who's ghosting. I do not know. Is it you? Maybe you are. So I want to talk a little bit about how to avoid this, because it's so painful if it happens to you. And before we even get into it, let's start a little bit about talking about how it started. Ghosting is not a brand new phenomenon in life, right? There's always people who don't have the capability of having an honest conversation about what's happening, or they don't know how to directly end a relationship. So they just disappear. They stop responding. And this happened way before, people were on Tinder and OkCupid and all of these apps. But I really believe, from the point of view of a psychotherapist, because I've seen this develop over the last 15 to 20 years, that the internet and the depersonalization of being online has really made this phenomenon worse than it was, because the accountability factor, it's the same way that if you guys think about online trolls or bullies, and we all know that there's plenty of those, that someone, I wrote a blog years ago called Got Cyber Balls. Like, do you have cyber balls? Meaning, do you say stuff online, make rude comments, try to enrage or torture people, and say things that you would never have the balls to say in real life to their face? So this is an extension of that theory, which is when we used to meet people back in the olden days through family and friends, blind dates, whatever, friends of friends, you would pretty much know that you were going to see them again. When we lived more locally, when the world wasn't so global because of the World Wide Web, you were probably going to see them again. So you felt compelled. There was more of a social pressure to not be rude, and to not be so inconsiderate. And really, what is ghosting? It's so immature. It's so immature. Listen, nobody likes to have the hard conversation that says, "Oh, hey, I don't think we're a match." But not having it is so rude and immature. And the bottom line is, it's so easy to have the conversation nowadays, because you can just text message someone, "Hey, I had a nice time, but I don't think we're a match. I wish you the best of luck." And you're done, and you've done the right thing. So there's more to it from a psychological point of view of ghosting. But what you guys care about is how to avoid it. So let's talk about some of the signs and symbols of someone that you're dating, if they're about to ghost you, or if there are definitely signs that someone has the potential to be a ghoster. So let's just start with that, which is, the first one is that they don't message you first, right? You're sort of always the one messaging them. And it's almost like if you get the feeling that you're always initiating the contact, this tells you that you're already putting in more effort. And the fact that they can just sit for days on end and not reach you tells you something, not about you, but about them, and about the way that they may be in life, right? Another indication is that you no longer see them on the dating app. I find that the personalities of ghosters are people who will take themselves off the app, put themselves back on the app, but if they're trying to limit your contact with them, they may disappear off the app. And it may look like, oh, they like you so much they're doing that, but it also may be them planning to not respond to you, and they don't want you to be able to find them anywhere. So I always look at, if someone is putting themselves on and off apps, that's an indication that they want to be free to disappear if they feel like disappearing, right? The next thing to think about is if every time you're with them, they have a reason to cut it short. So maybe you had planned to do, you're going to go out for a couple of drinks, and then they stay for one drink and are like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I just got a note from work and I have to go. I just got a text from my partner and I need to leave, my work partner," right? So maybe it's someone who's hoping for a hookup, right? They're hoping for, if after meeting up with you, they realize it's not going to end up being sexual or that it won't be a quick thing. They're finding a way to leave. So just just notice someone's behavior, and also notice your own expectations, right? If you don't know someone, you guys who know my work know that I'm not a big fan of like the sex on the first, second, third, fourth date. Like, I'm just not. Now, maybe I'm old and maybe I'm just whatever. Maybe I'm behind the times because I've been married for 20 years. But it's not because I think sex is bad. It's because as a psychotherapist, I know that sex changes the dynamic between two people who are trying to get to know each other. And the moment you bring in this ulterior motive of having sex, the getting to know each other now, are we really trying to get to know each other? Or is the man trying to have more sex and look like he's trying to get to know you? And you guys, listen, I'm not painting all men as like this or all women as a particular way, but there is a reality that men and women are different. And the whole sex thing is something that I always say to my clients, especially female clients, you don't have to have sex early with someone. And it really is unempowering to do so. So I don't say withhold it like a game. I say respect yourself, respect your God pod, right? As my girlfriend Chris Carr would say. And that the moment you get sexual on date one, I don't know, it just complicates it. So just trust me. I've been happily married for 20 years and I'm a psychotherapist. I got some good advice. Don't get sexual too early. It just makes it complicated. Even if you always have in the past, just try, right? Try not to. Another thing to look at, an indication that someone may be a ghoster, is that they're always super busy, right? And you have to remember in your own mind, if somebody really wants to see you, they'll make time for you. Right? They will make it happen. So this being so busy, hey man, we're all busy, But if you say, a normal person who actually wants to see you, you say, hey, you want to get together Thursday? I can meet for drinks after 8. And the person gets back to you, oh, hope you're having a great day, blah, blah, blah. But they don't mention the getting together. To me, that tells me they don't want to get together with you. That's what it tells me. Someone who wants to get together, if they can't do Thursday at 8, they'll say, hey, I'm already caught up on Thursday. How is next Monday at 8? Like, they'll pick another time and another day to do it if they actually want to do it. So be aware that if they're always so busy and you find that you're the one who's constantly making the suggestion, because don't kill yourself. You don't need to. And again, the next thing is it's similar to the last thing, but being really dialed into someone who has this selective perception of what you're saying, where you ask them, oh, so how was your weekend? And are we still going to get together on Friday? Because they've said that. And if they answer you about how their weekend is, but they don't mention the getting together, already from a therapeutic point of view, there's an avoidant vibe that's happening there that makes me feel like that person could be a good candidate to be a ghoster. They may be someone that does that because there's this psychologically, people are, it's called attachment theory, where you're attached a certain way in your relationships. And the 3 main ones are securely attached, and they're a good person who will not be ghosting you because they will not need to. Anxiously attached, and they're the person who probably wants more from you than you want from them. And avoidantly attached. And someone who's a ghoster, I guarantee you, is avoidantly attached because it's so easy to just, as soon as they feel overwhelmed, because that's what happens with someone who's avoidantly attached, they want the intimacy, but then when it comes, they feel like they're suffocating. So they can just disappear. It's so simple. So be aware. And then moving on to, you have there's 2 more things that I want you to be aware of. And one is about texting. When things are in the beginning and people are texting back and forth, it may be great, right? It's like you're having long texts and they're having long texts and you're kind of getting to know each other on text, and it's nice and it's frequent. When someone is getting towards the potential that they're going to disappear, watch that their texts go from being long and thoughtful to being short and short and shorter. And there's always a bad sign of something not good coming when that happens. So I'm not saying that every text has to be like War and Peace. It doesn't have to be a novel per se. But if you're noticing a distinct difference between how it used to be and how it is now, even in a short period of time, that is not a good sign. And then the last thing, which I just always think means someone is completely full of shit, is that people who are have the potential to ghost are also people who have the potential to lie. Like they'll just say anything. So do you ever have people in your life, and not just dating, but who have these far-fetched excuses about things? Like I would have clients who are trying to avoid whatever it is that we're talking about, or they don't want to handle it. And they would say, oh my God, I couldn't come because I lost my phone again. And I'm thinking, you've lost your phone. I've known you for 3 years. You've lost your phone like 11 times. That's just not real. So if someone is giving you some really far-fetched excuse that seems like so out of the realm of possibility, and that happens many times, different far-fetched excuses, that's just someone who's finding a way to create distance between you and them. So what I want, the next thing I want to say about ghosting, and I'm not going to do it in this video because it's too many, so it's too long, which I don't want to make them too long, is the next thing is how to get over being ghosted and understand your own response to this phenomenon. Because I promise you, yes, people are out there and they're a little bit nuts, true story, but this is also about you. And if this has happened to you more than once, I promise you, I'm not saying you're causing it, but I'm saying something about the way that you're interacting with them, and sort of your low bar, like your low expectation, is adding to you feeling very victimized by someone just disappearing. And in the next video, which will follow this one, I'll also talk about if you're ghosting people, why not to do it, what will happen karmically if you keep doing it, so please stop. So this is part 1 of this disastrously disappearing dating phenomenon known as ghosting. If you like this, not liked it per se, but if you think it's valuable and you want to share it with other people, please do. I have created a little downloadable checklist for you to see the warning signs if someone is potentially someone who might ghost you. So don't forget to download that right here. And please share this on social media and share it with your friends if you think it's something that they could use. Right? Because it is a phenomenon that is happening. And for those ladies out there, if you have not joined my free group, my free Facebook group, I'm doing a monthly live stream for you and giving you free gifts. Please go to terrycole.com/RLR and join the Real Love Revolution, man. It's awesome. I hope you have an amazing, amazing week. And as always, take care of you.